Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Maker Cave. And today I'm in here working on a kind of a quick project, just something that I want to get knocked out of the way. This is a Halloween project, and I know Halloween is quite a few months away, but if you think about it, it's going to be upon us before you know it. And Halloween is a busy time for me. I shoot video at a haunted attraction. It's a fairly large haunted attraction. There's two haunts at the one location, and I'm a videographer there, and I also like to dress up and be in costume as I'm shooting video, and just to, when I put the camera down, just to go and be part of the haunt, be part of the scare at the attraction. So this particular haunt is very much clown-based for part of the haunt, and so I come up with an idea for a project I want on. This is the mask that I used last year, and it looks like, you know, someone cut a face, the skin off of someone, and wore it as a mask. Now, when I decided to make my Halloween costume for this year, because at the haunt they have loads of costumes and clown suits and things you can wear and top hats and stuff. Well, so I can put my costume together there. But last year I painted my face like a clown, and this year I wanted to do something different. Also, I wanted to do this because it kind of coincides with a current project I have in the works at the moment, which is probably going to be like a 6 comic book mini-series, horror mini-series, which includes a clown. I'm not sure what I'm going to call the comic book yet. I have actually talked to some editors. Today I'm pitching my storyline to the editors, and I've already acquired an artist to do the artwork. Some people might ask why I don't do the artwork. Well, I'm going to be writing the story. I'm very busy with that. So I figured I would acquire an artist, which I did, a very good artist, and so he is actually currently working on the front cover of the very first comic book right now that I could submit with my storyline and to the editors. And I talked to the editors and the people of this publishing company, and they're very interested in hearing what I have in the way of an idea. So I thought, while I work on this mask, because my idea is to turn this particular mask into a clown. So I'm going to lay down a white under base, and then I'm going to put in, you know, a very mild clown makeup, like it was just thrown on real quick, or like it's maybe like it's wearing off, is kind of the idea. It's going to be very dark. The nose will be red, but then the eye makeup around the eyes and the mouth will be black. So not many colors involved. We're using white, red, and black. Well, like I said, we're going to put the white underbase down, and we're going to kind of leave that edge around there, so it looks like the clown's face has been cut off, because that kind of goes along with my comic book story, my comic book vision. I've wanted to do a comic book for a very long time. I love the horror genre of movies and comics, and I come up with this idea, and I thought to actually wear the character, to actually be the character in my upcoming comic book for Halloween this year, Would be awesome. So I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to start working on this. And as I work on this, I'm going to tell you guys the story of Zero the Clown. So the story starts with two twin boys born on the same day, not identical twins, and born into a family that was very violent to them, very mean to them, very abusive to them. Their names were David and Paul Penske. And David and Paul, through their trials of being in an abusive family, formed a very strong bond with one another. They became very close brothers. They had a love like most brothers, like no other brothers ever had. They were very close, and they wanted nothing but the best for one another, and nothing but to stop being abused. As the boys grew older, when they turned 15 years old, they decided to run away from home, to get away from the abuse and the sadness of their home. And so they ran off. And when they ran off, they came across a traveling freak show, a circus. And the two brothers decided to become part of the circus, decided to make a home where people, everybody there was an outcast. Everybody there was different. They found that they felt very comfortable in that situation. So they was trying to figure out what they could be in the freak show, and they decided to become clowns. And they took on this clown persona they took it very serious, and they became the clowns of Zero and Stitches. And they took on this persona so much that they stopped responding to David and Paul, and they basically killed David and Paul, and killed the past of their abusive childhood, and took on the persona of these clowns that they wouldn't even answer to the names David and Paul, and they did this because they didn't want their family to find them. They just wanted to kill their tragic past. So they became Zero and Stitches, and they always wore the makeup, always wore the clown outfit, never took it off. They became these clowns, physically and mentally became these clowns. And they started their journey, their life in this traveling freak show. And they befriended people, and their bond grew even stronger, and they were happy, and they felt connected, and they felt accepted. And so what they did in the freak show is they practiced extreme taoism. Taoism is a Hindu festival where they get together and they run skewers through their cheeks and through their tongue as a way of getting rid of bad things in the past, getting rid of the garbage, so to speak. So these two clowns, these Zero and Stitches, decided that that's what they wanted to do, and they took it to the extreme. The skewers that they used were very large and very sharp, and they didn't just stick it through their cheeks and through their tongue. They stuck it through their abdomens and through their chest and through their arms and through their necks, and they took this taoism to an extreme level, and people were so impressed with their show because they didn't understand how these two boys could run all these very large spear-looking skewers through their body without killing themselves. And the biggest part of the show is towards the end of the show, where Zero would grab one of the biggest skewers and run it through his brother's body, and then the two would turn towards the audience and bow and walk out of the circus tent. The show was huge, and the brothers were doing well and happy. So, as the story goes on, and the brothers are doing well, the brothers are happy, the brothers have found a place to fit inside this circus sideshow. They was having a show one night, And during the show, for the final finale of the very large skewer being put through Stitch's body, Zero accidentally killed him. He accidentally pierced his lung and his heart, the lung and the heart of his brother, and killed him instantly. And the circus goers thought that this was part of the show, and they're cheering as Zero picks up his brother and carries him out of the circus tent into his own tent and lays him down. He is distraught and he is sad, and he cannot believe that his best friend, that his brother, is dead. And so he cuts the face off his brother, the clown face off his brother, and he buries his brother out in the woods behind the circus tent. And he comes back and he turns his brother's face into a mask, and he wears it in honor of his brother and in his brother's memory. And now, at this time, Zero has become very distraught. He has become very sad, and all of his emotions started to turn to anger. And all he could remember, all he could think about was the people cheering as his brother died. And it made him very angry, and it made him start blaming the people who come to the circus. He started blaming the ones who attend the circus for his brother's death. And in his demented and sad mind, he really believed that it was their fault, that they were the cause of the death of his brother. And so every time there was a show, Zero would pick a victim out of the crowd, and he would kidnap them and take them off into his tent, and he would torture them for hours by running skewers through their bodies, missing all the vital organs, and letting them suffer in agony and pain. And then he would finally take the final skewer, the big skewer that killed his brother, and he would run it through their heart. And then he would cut their face off and keep it in a chest. And then he would bury their bodies out in the wilderness. And he did this through many, many shows. Finally, the ringmaster caught on that there was something very strange going on, and he realized what Zero was doing. And out of fear for his own life, he decided not to turn Zero into authorities, but he decided to start helping him hide the bodies and start helping him mask his murders. And so the ringmaster would take these bodies from time to time and mummify them and use them as props in their funhouse and in part of the circus show. He would also feed some of the bodies to the lions and some of the animals that they had in their circus show. And the ringmaster and Zero became the criminals of this traveling freak show. And their arch enemy is a private investigator who is investigating these murders, and realizes that every time through a lot of investigation, he realizes that every time this freak show is in a town, a murder takes place, someone turns up missing. And so he's going through steps of trying to crack the case of how these bodies are missing and how these murders or these missing people tie in to this freak show. And then the story naturally ensues. And there is a lot involved in this story. It may go far beyond a mini-series, a 6 comic book mini-series. It could just keep going, I don't know. But to start out, it's going to be a 6 comic book mini-series. And that is the story. That is the story of Zero and Stitches, and Zero becomes very demented. And that is what I'm working on today, guys. I'm working on this mask. And I'm going to turn this mask naturally into Stitches, Zero's brother Stitch's face. Alright guys, so here is the face of Stitches, the clown, Zero's brother. Here it is. Now, pretty much done. The only thing I'm going to do is mix up a little bit of color, water it down a lot, and do a wash over this. And what this dark wash will do is bring out all the cracks and crevices and things. And then I'm going to mix up a color and also touch up on the actual stitches in his mouth, and make those a different color. So we're about finished with this project. So far, so good. It is coming out the way I wanted, with just mostly dark, besides the red nose. So, well, let's finish it up. Alrighty guys, so that is our finished mask. This is the mask of Stitches the Clown, Zero's deceased brother, by the hands of Zero. And who knows guys, the story may go that Zero meant to kill his brother. We don't know yet. There's so much that can be involved in this story. We don't know what's going on yet. Maybe Zero wanted his brother dead. But at this point, he is definitely not happy about it. Alright guys, that is the mask. This is my very quick Halloween project from a mask I wore last year, and I just turned it into a character that I made up. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming to the Steve Tooley channel. Thank you so much for watching this episode inside the Maker Cave. I hope you enjoyed my story, and I hope you enjoyed the mask. And I think it turned out pretty decent. I like that cut off clown face look. I'm weird. Anyway guys, thanks for coming, and this comic book idea, stay tuned. I will keep you informed here on the Steve Tooley channel about this whole comic book thing coming together, but things are starting to fall in place nicely. Anyway guys, thank you for coming to the Steve Tooley channel. Thank you for joining me in the Maker Cave, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.